let's see. Okay, can you make me the host now to share the screen?
Yeah. Technical difficulties. Okay.
All right, let's see if this works. Perfect. All right, and everyone can see my slides. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Well, like I said, thanks everyone for jumping on this morning. I'm super excited. Today we're going to go through pretty much all things you need to know to get started with Gut Protocol. I'm personally super excited for this because I am like ready to dive back in and get super hyper focused with my nutrition. But also, I said this on my stories this morning, I think we get used to like feeling a certain way and think that that's just how we have to feel and that's just life. Maybe it's brain fog, maybe it's bloating, maybe it's certain foods making you feel sick, and we just deal with it, right? But I think what we're going to see with Gut Protocol and what I've heard from people who have already gone through the program is that you didn't even know it was possible to feel that good. And you're able to find like your new baseline for how you expect to feel every day, how you expect your energy levels to feel every day, how you expect your body to like digest food every day. And so really excited to jump in with everyone on Monday. If you've gone through the videos, which hopefully you have, if not, like I said, make sure you set some time aside this weekend. You need about like 25-30 minutes to go through the first 5 videos at least. That's going to give you the basics and the foundation for the actual program itself. And help you understand the program to be able to start on Monday. Don't try to skip these videos because I promise you, when you have a better understanding of the program, it's going to be a lot easier to actually stick to something. And if you have watched the videos, you know that this program is meant to be a challenge. This program is meant to like test your commitment, right? We are eliminating foods that maybe you enjoy every single day right now to understand how our body works. That's not to say you're going to eliminate these foods forever. There is a reintroduction phase at the end of the program where we test foods and see which foods our bodies respond to. But for the 4 weeks, we are eliminating those foods. And in order for this to work, it's important that you're 100% committed and all in. The coolest part about this, though, is that we're all doing this together. And I think that makes things 10 times easier. So we're going to go through what you can expect in our Facebook group and the kind of support and accountability you'll get from us, but also kind of what our expectations are from you for committing to this group as well. And then at the end, I'm going to save time for any Q&A. So if you've had a chance to watch any of the videos, you probably have some questions and you'll be able to drop those in the chat or unmute yourself. So let's get started. The first really important piece here, like I said, is this is going to be a challenge. So I want you to like take 2 minutes right now, hopefully you have a pen and paper, and think about what is your why? Like, why did you, when you saw this program, when you heard your coach,
thing that made you personally want to do this program? Can you guys still hear me? My earphones just died. Okay, cool. So what is the thing that made you personally want to do this program? Your why is the thing that's going to keep you going when things get hard, because you are going to be tested on this program. You are going to be tempted, by in the 4 weeks. So what is it that is going to keep you committed to the goal of doing this program? So take 2 minutes, like I said, and write down your why. Maybe it's that you don't want stomach pain anymore. Maybe it's that you don't want to deal with gas. Maybe it's that you want to prove to yourself that you can actually go all in with a program and stick to it. Maybe it's that you don't want to rely on caffeine for energy. That's definitely one of mine. Maybe you want to run faster or see what kind of athlete this can help you become. But really, it's got to be something that's personal to you. And I want you to write that down and keep it somewhere where you can see it throughout the program. Big tip here is I want you to communicate with your family, your significant other, whoever you live with, like why you want to do this program. Because again, this is going to be a challenge, right? And having those people supporting you, or at least understanding why you're doing this program, will make it easier for you to stay committed, and they can also become kind of like another accountability partner for you. Maybe the people in your house are doing this program with you, right? So have a conversation. Why are each of you committing to this program, right? Like, what are you hoping to get out of it? And why are you going to stick to this over the next 4 weeks
regardless of going out for dinner, birthday parties, all of the life stuff that's going to continue to happen, because it is going to happen. And you're going to prove to yourself that you can stay committed regardless. All right, let's talk about our Facebook group. Want to share with you a couple ways that you can get the most out of our group. For us, we are going to show up in there, us as coaches. We're going to show up in there. We're going to provide you with tips. We're going to provide you with recipes. We're going to go live and share our experiences. We're going to be there to answer your questions. We're going to cheer you on. So that's like our end of the deal. But for you, our ask is that you show up in the group at least once a day. This can look like anything that you want it to. It can be sharing your post-workout selfie from 4 weeks for everybody. It could be sharing how you're feeling that day, good or bad. It could be
meal ideas that you found yourself that fit into the program. It could be a recap of what you ate that day, really whatever is going to benefit you to help keep you on track, and tag your coach when you post, so that we can check in on your progress. And again, like I said, comment and cheer you on. This group for me is like, these types of groups are the thing that help me stay committed. I think the first thing we want to do when maybe we fall off the wagon or things get hard is run away from these groups, because they are a form of accountability. But I want to encourage you to lean in, because we're all going through this together. No one in our group actually has ever done this program yet. So we're all going to be experiencing the day 1, 2, 3, and so on at the same time. We're all going to have life events. We're all going to have things that tempt us, or hiccups that maybe make us feel like we need to fall off track. And this group can be a source of support and commitment and accountability. So every Monday, we're going to do an accountability check. And this is where you're going to take your updated measurements. You can take your updated weight if you would like. And we're going to share non-scale victories. So however you want to track your progress is up to you. What I would recommend at the bare minimum is to take the before photos that I outlined in the Getting Started guide, and to take your measurements. Because sometimes the number on the scale isn't our only source of truth. Sometimes the number on the scale doesn't move as fast as we expect it to. And I don't want that to discourage you. So if you use a number of different things to track your progress, that's most helpful in my opinion. If you have like a dress, a skirt, a pair of jean shorts that you want to fit into, that you want to feel good in, maybe it's a little snug right now, take a picture in that now, because I promise you that over the next 4 weeks, you're going to see your body change. And not that that's like the sole purpose of this program to be a weight loss program, because it's not, but you're going to see changes just based on the way that you're fueling your body with higher quality foods. So snap pics in those things, because I promise you, you're going to be so glad that you had those pictures at the end of the week, or at the end of the 4 weeks. If you can use the scale as a tool and it doesn't affect how you feel about yourself or anything like that, I encourage you to use the scale too, because what you're going to see with this program is, again, not just weight loss, but the way that your body is shedding inflammation from paying attention to what you're fueling your body with, and also eliminating a lot of these super common triggers. So if you can use a scale, great. If not, that's totally okay too. Use this group to ask. There's no dumb question. They're like, you can ask anything really in these groups. We're all there to support each other. So if you need to know what category of food fits into, if you're asking for tips, if you need somebody to just like send you a text message while you're out at a party and give you some encouragement or be that accountability, like that's what we're here for. So lean into the group, ask questions, be engaged. That's how you're going to get the most out of it. Scroll the group feed and give other people love. You know how good it feels for someone else to cheer you on. And we can do that vice versa for each other. So there might be a day that you're struggling, that you need everybody to love on you. We can totally do that. But on the days that you're feeling great, make sure you pop into the group and love on other people too. And the last thing is, don't forget to check your Facebook Messenger. So we're going to do this big group. We have almost 90 girls in this group, which is so cool. But we're also going to have smaller group chats of around 5 people, so that you can have your little like squad to check in with as well. So that's for things like, you can ask questions in that group and really cheer each other on. But our hope is that you can develop some friendships also from this group by leaning into the other girls doing the program. So make sure you check your Facebook Messenger this weekend. We're putting together those chats. on top of the actual Facebook group itself. Wanted to give you kind of like an overview of where to find everything. So the first thing is on Beachbody On Demand, and I'm logged in here. Under the actual 4-week gut protocol, you'll see a tile if you haven't already. And this is where you can find the videos that I talked about. So you'll want to watch the first set of videos here. That's like the basics to understand the program. But then there's also weekly focus videos that you can check out and bonus content if you're interested. You'll also find the meal plans in here, as well as in the Facebook group, and additional resources like how to calculate which bracket you fall into and things like that. So make sure you familiarize yourself with all of this. You don't have to like absorb all of the information at once. Just know that it's there. So if you're looking for like to spice up your water or to spice up your Shakeology, you know where you can find that information. Really, the thing to start on before you start on Monday is those introduction videos, and then calculating your calorie bracket and doing your meal planning. So that is actually on Beachbody On Demand itself. The second is our Facebook group, which if you're not in there, can you just drop your Facebook name in the chat and we will add you while we're on this call to make sure that you're in there. That's really, like I said, the key piece for accountability. We're going to share additional recipes, all the good stuff like that. And then the file section of that Facebook group, which I think I have pulled up as well. I've gone ahead and I've added some additional materials that once I went through the videos, I thought would be helpful for everyone else. So there's like a welcome packet there that shows you how to take before photos, how to take measurements, gives you a little bit of a journaling exercise. I also have recipe lists, that meal planning toolkit again, fermented foods cheat sheet, because that's a big part of things, the containers cheat sheet, and then like things like the basic rules that you can screenshot on your phone so you have them for like quick reference. So all of that's in the Facebook group. And then the last piece you might not be familiar with is on Beachbody On Demand, we actually have the app has a tracking function for your containers. So you'll see in the Facebook group, there's like a sheet if you want to print that, but if you prefer to do it digitally, there is a tracking section where you can count your containers right on Beachbody On Demand. You can track your Shakeology, you can upload your before photos, so you can keep that all in one app if you choose to. No one can see that. It's just like a tool that you can use for yourself. But really, the option's up to you, whether you're like a paper and pen person or if you prefer to do it on the app. Just wanted you to know, again, like what's available to you. Any questions before I move on? Kids in the chat. All right. All right, so I wanted to share with you some tips on the actual gut protocol itself. So we've had some friends who are part of the test group, and I was able to pick their brain and say, you know, what does our group need to know most? What information can you share with us? And the first thing she said was, keep it simple. Keep it super simple. Don't try to make elaborate meals, especially in week 1. Follow the meal plans if you can, and if you like to follow a guide step by step, but just keep things very basic in week 1. The recommendation is to cook all your vegetables in week 1 so that your body can digest them better if you're not used to eating such a high volume of veggies, but just keep things super basic. Don't try to overcomplicate it, and use that as a way to set yourself up for success. Second thing is print out the food list and the meal plan and put them somewhere that you can see them. So you can see I have Staples opened up right now. I'm going to print the food list and the trackers out today so that I have them for the next 4 weeks and I can reference them when I'm doing my meal planning. Put foods that are not on plan. So your dairy foods, your gluten foods, your highly processed foods, your like treats out of sight, or even better, out of the house if you can. So that you aren't even tempted. It takes brain power to control yourself from eating those foods when you know you have a bag of chips in the cupboard, right? And if you're going to be tempted by it, your best bet is just to get rid of it or put it on a super high shelf above the fridge where it's out of sight, out of mind, to keep yourself on track. Planning with this program is going to be super, super important. So again, make sure you familiarize yourself with the videos and also the meal plans, so you can plan out what you're specifically going to eat ahead of time. Know what you're going to eat every day this week and make sure that you have the groceries to do that. like if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, because this is something that requires a little bit more effort maybe than some of the other programs. So make sure that you map out exactly what you're going to eat and when. And then prep your food. Prep can look like all different things, but at the very least, cut up your veggies, right? So that when you're hungry, you have a quick snack you can grab. And then if you want to go as far as prepping your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can totally do that too. What I like to do is prep breakfast and lunch since I'm working, and then I'll usually make dinner at night. But I make sure that all my snacks and everything are really easy to grab. And that came from a trial and error process for myself of knowing that when I got busy at work, if things weren't easy to grab, I didn't eat them, right? So make sure that you prep your food. Doesn't have to take hours. You can do a ton of meal prep if you set aside 1 hour on Sunday, and it can save you hours for the rest of the week. So that would be my recommendation. And if you don't like a vegetable, fruit, or meat on the menu that's already written out and you want to follow that to a T, just swap it with something else that's in the same category and switch things around so that it works for you. But that pretty much that meal plan is like, just interchange things so you can follow it at least for the first week. You'll see in the album section of the group, there's a meal plan uploaded for A, B, and D. And if you're in plan C, that's the plan that I'm going to follow. I'm going to tweak it and I'll upload it there for you as well. If you are hungry on the meal plan, I always say it takes like about 2 weeks for your body to adjust to the food that you're eating. So give it 2 weeks. Once you calculate your bracket that you fall into. If you're hungry, like all the time, every single day, bump up a meal plan. But if you're just like finding certain days you're hungrier than others, just add additional foods that fit into the containers. You should not be hungry. And then drink tons of water. Drink as much water as you can, because that's going to help the process of everything that this program is doing in terms of like bloating, brain fog, all of that. So make sure you're getting in enough water. The rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces. So for example, if you weigh 100 pounds, you should drink 50 ounces of water at the bare minimum. Any questions there before I move on? All right, keep going. Shakeology is super duper important. I know some people maybe aren't the biggest fans of Shakeology yet, but I promise you again, like if you're not used to eating fruits and vegetables or even drinking shakes, this is something that's going to take time for your body to adjust to. But actually your taste buds adjust as you eat more like nutrient dense, healthy foods. And the same thing with Shakeology, your taste buds will adjust. If you need to start with half a scoop of Shakeology, you can absolutely do that. But make sure that you're drinking your Shakeology every day, because it's full of like probiotics, prebiotics, and the vitamins and nutrients that your body needs. It really helps to fill the gaps of your nutrition. So this is huge. There's a million ways you can make your Shakeology. Please don't just shake it with water. If you hate it and you're shaking it with water, that is why. Blend it like a shake, bake with it. Like there's so many recipes that work with this program on Beachbody On Demand under the recipes tab and on the blog. Switch it up, try different vegetables, try different fruits, put cauliflower in your shake. Like that makes it thicker. There's so many ways that you can make it. And there is a whole Shakeology's recipe little PDF in there. So if you're having trouble with your Shakeology, post in the group and we can give you a ton of ideas, but please just don't shake it with water. All right. And this is kind of your list of homework to do before we start on Monday. So even if you haven't done anything yet, no stress. You have 2 days to still figure it out. You really don't need that much time. The first thing, join the Facebook group, introduce yourself. There's only a few people who introduced themselves so far. So make sure you do that. We're going to be working closely together over the next 4 weeks. So make sure we know a little bit about who you are. 2, pick up your supplements. In the welcome guide, I think most of you are in Canada. I outlined what supplements you could get in Canada. You can get them from Shoppers, you can get them from Well, you can get them from pretty much wherever you get supplements. There's a criteria. I linked some specific ones that you can purchase, but as long as they fit into Autumn's criteria, again, outlined in the guide, you're all set. So make sure you grab those. Take your before photos and measurements. My recommendation, take these first thing in the morning. You can take them whenever you'd like, but really we want it to be consistent week over week so that you can track your progress. Take more photos than less. Even if you don't feel comfy right now, like I promise you're going to be so glad that you have these photos at the end of the 4 weeks. And we're going to take these photos every Monday morning. So grab out maybe a swimsuit, a sports bra and shorts. You can grab again, like a piece of clothing that's a little snug that you want to feel great in by the end, and just take these photos because you'll be so glad that you have them. There's a how-to guide for how to take measurements, again, because we want this to be consistent week over week. And that is posted on the welcome guide as well. Like I said, watch the first 5 videos of the gut protocol. You only need about 25 to 30 minutes. Take notes, and that's going to give you the foundation for the program. Next thing is plan your meals for week 1. Again, there's already done for you meal plan guides, depending on what bracket that you're in. You can follow those to a T, or you can swap out foods as you'd like. Clean out your fridge, grocery shop. 2 big things. Once you do your meal plan, write your grocery list based off of what you don't already have in your pantry, and get the food that you're not going to be eating over the next 4 weeks out of sight, out of mind. And then last but not least, set aside 1 hour to meal prep so that you're ready to rock for the week. This is, again, going to be huge. I can't emphasize this enough. 1 hour pays you back so many hours for the rest of the week. And it's going to let you go into Monday feeling prepared, and like you're ready to take this on, rather than like stressed or overwhelmed or having to think all week about what you're going to eat. That is all I have for you. I know that's a ton of information and you listened to me blab for the last 25 minutes, but hopefully you have questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and happy to answer any of those. You can unmute yourself or put them in the chat. We're all friends here. So no worries.
Hey, Shelby. I'm not super like educated on the program yet, but I'm just curious about like how you would swap different foods for different foods.
Yeah, let me pull up the Facebook page and I will take you through it. All right, so this is our Facebook group. If you're not in there yet, make sure you jump in there. Under the album section, I have sample meal plans. So once you know what bracket you fall into, you can just go to that meal plan. We'll use B, for example. C is missing from here and anything above D is also missing. You can send me a message and I will help you figure out the differences. I'm bracket C, so I'm going to be doing my full meal plan and I'll come in here and post it once I'm done. If you guys want to do the same, 100% come in here and let's start a thread of everyone's meal plans. It can help to give each other ideas. But for example, this is all figured out. This counts for every single one of your containers for the whole week, as well as your fermented foods that you should be adding in 3 times a week. So say, for example, I don't like oatmeal. I can go to the yellow A food list. Let me pull them both up. Sorry, it's hard when I'm sharing the screen. I will go to the food lists, yellow A, and I'll just pick a different food from the list of yellow A. So if I don't like oatmeal, maybe I'm going to have rice, maybe not for breakfast, but you know, weirder things have happened. If I don't like, let's look at like dinner. If I don't like chicken, I'm going to go into the red A list and maybe I'm going to have ground turkey instead. Maybe I'm going to have turkey bacon instead. Maybe I'm going to have fish and I would just swap it out like that. Does that help make sense? Hopefully too, my other recommendation is if you're cooking for more people than just yourself who aren't doing gut protocol, when you're doing your meal planning, start with dinner and think of like, what is your family going to eat for dinner? And then build the rest of your meal plan off of that. Because it's much easier to like make yourself something different for lunch or breakfast or your snacks. And that way you don't have to cook 2 separate dinners, like one for you and one for your family. Let me get my chat back up. People are excited to get started. Yay. Amber, she did her meal plan. She'll post it up in the group too. Like my recommendation too is there's tons of like gut protocol recipes listed. Use those if you need ideas for dinner, because like odds are your family will be willing to eat them as well. There is like a ton of resources. Can you still drink Recover? It does have to be vegan, I think. I'm not sure off the top of my head though, if there's a limit on how many times a week you can drink it. So let me look into that and I can post in the group.
I remember meeting Autumn at the Success Club trip, and I think that she said Shakeology or Recover, because if you do both, then your sugars are over.
Right, because there's a limit to, you can only have 10 grams of sugar a day. And I think you're right, Shay, that both would be over. So it makes sense if you can only choose one or the other, but we'll find out for sure. And what we'll do is we'll post the approved supplements list into the Facebook group so that you can reference that quickly as well. And yeah, we record this, so we'll post up the link. You can watch it back if you need to in the Facebook group as well. Any other questions?
I'll just do another one. What would you tell somebody who gets overwhelmed really quickly? Like
Keep it simple.
planning, meal prepping, etc.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I would say keep it simple. That happened to me probably the first time that I tried to follow the Portion Fix containers, because I wanted to make all of these elaborate meals. And for week one, I would say like keep it basic. Pick your protein, pick your carb, like just your meals don't have to like go together and be Instagram worthy. Okay. Like I may eat rice for breakfast and I may not have done that in the past. I may eat cucumbers for breakfast or spinach for breakfast or peppers for breakfast. And that's not necessarily like a breakfast food, but it's whatever works to keep it simple, right? This isn't like your food will taste good and your taste buds will adjust, but we're not eating this way to like indulge, right? We're eating this way for our health from the inside out and to use food as fuel and to understand how it affects our bodies. So when you approach it from like, I think using yourself as an experiment, it takes away some of like the stress of, you know, that you're not eating chocolate cake. So yeah, I would say keep it simple, use this meal plan, follow it to a T if you're overwhelmed because it's already done for you. If you have questions, post them in the group. If you need me to jump on Zoom and literally do a one-on-one call to walk you through how to structure your meals for that week, I'm happy to do that. My goal with this is for everyone to see success. So whatever support we can provide, please let me know. And like we are happy to do that. But yeah, just keep it super duper basic and follow the meal plan to a T. As you go through the weeks, you'll get more comfortable. It gets very simple and very easy to understand the more that you do it. But I understand if week one is overwhelming. Question around coffee. I'm like a coffee addict, so I'm right there with you. We can only have coffee 3 times a week. My mom is actually 1 week into doing the gut protocol and she's a coffee addict as well. And so she also picked up matcha and she said she just substitutes her coffee for matcha. So a lot of like these habits that we have are exactly that, habits. Like for me, I have a coffee at 9 a.m. when I sit down and do work, right? Instead of just not doing that, I might have a coffee 3 times a week, but I'm just going to make my matcha at the same time I would have had my coffee, right? I'm just going to make my Energize at the same time I would have had my coffee. You can make tea, have tea at the same time you would have had your coffee, but instead of just like ripping away a habit and getting rid of it, replace it with something else. Yeah, great tip, Amber. Like doubling up on the same meals, as you'll see on these meal plans, we eat the same thing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That makes meal prep so much easier. That makes following the plan so much easier. Even if that isn't your preference on an every week basis, this is only 4 weeks, right? You can do anything for 4 weeks. Try it out for week 1 and see how it goes. If you're sick of your food by Friday, what little things can you swap out to make it a little bit different? Even if it's, you know, not making 5 separate meals, maybe the 3 meals that you make, you can do so many things with chicken and rice and veggies, right? Maybe you make a stir fry, maybe you eat them all separate. It's the same ingredients, makes meal prep super easy, but kind of makes your meals a little bit different. Maybe you can season things differently. But at least for starting out, that would be my recommendation, as well as repeat the same food, eat leftovers. It's only 4 weeks. You'll be so glad that you did it the 4 weeks. Like, I was talking to Maddie, who's our friend who already did the program, and she said, like, you take all the photos because you are going to be so proud of yourself for sticking to this, and for how good you feel at the end of the 4 weeks. Any other questions? Any questions around fermented foods? I know that's something that's probably like a little bit different for a lot of people. Maybe it's not something you're used to eating. I did put together a fermented foods list in the Facebook group to help give you ideas. It's something that should be added in 3 times a week. At most grocery stores, even like we live in a super small town. So like we don't have the luxury of some of, the health foods that you can get in bigger cities, but even in the small town, we could find things like coconut yogurt. So that's going to be like a big one that I'm going to add in. Also kimchi. That's one that you can find pretty much in the health food section of any store, and you can use it a ton of different ways. But that's what the group is for too. Like if you find a fermented food that you love and that fits in the program, share it in the group, right? If you have questions about finding one, post in the group. That's what I know probably nobody has grocery shopped quite yet, but I think as we like collectively meal plan and grocery shop, we'll have lots of ideas to share. All right, well, maybe we will leave it at that. I will, like I said, start a thread in the Facebook group for everyone to post their meal plans. Show us your grocery haul when you grab it. And if there's any questions as you go, post in the group. We're checking there like several times a day. And I'll also, like I said, post up the approved supplement list into the group as well. I'll do that today. But super excited. I'm going to snap a pic. If anybody wants to turn their camera on for a pic. Perfect. I'm going to snap a quick photo. Look at all the pretty faces. All right. Ready? Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for starting your day with us, and we will see you in the group.